Hey guys, Scott here from AlphaNerdTech. How's it going today? So today we're going to do something slightly different. We are going to take my old Z440 HP Xenon server and we're going to convert that over to something a little more power efficient, a little more quiet. This thing is very noisy in the background. I'm hearing it right now. I'm sure it comes through on the video and I have to edit out the sound. So we're going to try to just do a complete swap over. So right now that's an Unraid server. I'm going to try to completely just swap over my drive, swap over the SSD, and see if I can get that to work in this 6-bay Terramaster Nas. And we're going to see how well it performs and if I can use this as a daily driver or as my daily server. I don't do a lot with it. It's mostly, I have one VM in there. Like I said, the Jellyfin, the website, the backup for all my videos and anything that I do day to day. I got some drone footage from around the world from my travels and stuff. So yeah, we're going to see how well this thing does. So let's get into the server and I'll show you some of the specs on it. All right, so before we get into Unraid, let's just take a look at this thing. So this is the Z440. Like I said, it was a Xenon I had purchased. Bare bones with nothing in it, and I ended up buying the memory and the CPU and a 10 gig NIC and some other cards. And right now it's just a basic, I had to put all the fans and factory stuff in there. Won't run without the HP fan, and had to do some other work on getting this thing to work right. So just at an idle, this thing will pull 93 watts. That's just sitting there without even running anything. If I fire up a VM and I'm doing some file transfer and stuff, then this thing pulls 130 watts and it just goes up from there. If I'm watching Jellyfin or movies or something, it's pulling 150, 160 watts. And it's a power hungry beast. So yeah, that's why we're going to try to put all this into the smaller case, quieter. Here we go. So now let's go over here to, you can see I don't run a lot. I run Jellyfin, I run Nextcloud, I have some, I have my server, I run the Unraid Cloud Tunnel, NextGen. Yeah, it's not a lot. It's a basic. It's more of a NAS than it is a server, but I do serve some stuff off of it. So here you go. Here's the processor. It is the E5 2697 V3, and just sitting here, like I said, just sitting here at this idle, not even pulling anything, any being used at all. It's pulling 90 something watts. So yeah, it's crazy how much this thing actually uses. And then we go down to my drives. All I have in here is I have a pool of 24 terabytes. I've got a 256 cache drive that I write everything to before it goes over to the disks to make it a little faster. And then I have my virtual machine over here on a 500 gig, and that's it. So we're gonna dump all this into the Terramaster, and most likely just drop the SSD, like I said, into the Terramaster and try to get this thing working. So let's take a look at the Terramaster specs. All right, so over here on Terramaster's website, basically we have a 10-core processor, 12 threads. It's the i5, so it's not as powerful or as speedy as what I would like. It comes with 8 gig. I actually have 32 gig. I'm going to throw in there for now and see how that works. I may double that up to 64 later if I need to. It does have the dual 10 gig NIC, so I don't have to worry about that. That thing sitting there is probably 60 decibels, 55 decibels, just sitting there at an idle, and this one's 22, so it's going to be way quieter. I like the fact that it has the M2 MEs in it. What are they saying about it here? I don't know why that's off my page, but yeah, so it's just going to be a lot quieter, a lot more power efficient. My whole goal of building that server was to get rid of my OneDrive and my Dropbox and other subscriptions like that. But when you do the 11 cents a kilowatt at averaging 100 watts, it's costing me over $100 a month that I was paying for the subscriptions. So, I mean a year, sorry, $100 a year for the subscriptions. So, yeah, it does get a little expensive, a little pricey running something that power hungry. So let's try this out and get all the stuff out of my Z440 and get moving. All right, so here we go, guys. So let's just do a quick unboxing of this guy. There's not a lot in it, I'm sure. So open her up. Now this is the F6-424 Max. And this is going to completely replace my system. So let's go here. And in here we get a power cord, bunch of screws, network cable, and looks like the main brick to the power supply. Get some better lighting over here. There we go. So there is the power supply brick. And it is a 12 volt, 12.5 amp, 150 watt. There we go. So that's what's in that box. And then let's get this guy out. Whoa, maybe I need to stand up for this one. All right, so throw this over here with this one. It's like Christmas. Nice and sealed, that's good. And we instantly get to the back of it where we have the two fans. All right, so we have the power button here. We have the HDMI. We have two 10 gigabit Ethernets. We have two USB Type A 10 gigabit. We have USB-C 10 gigabit, and we have our 12 volt power adapter. So this is the unit from all the sides. Very plasticky. Dry bays. And I have never ever used one of these, so hey, that wasn't that hard. Yeah, they make it easy. Push at the top, pull at the bottom. Kind of like my Tesla door. You push in to pull out. Very nice. So now we will get to the server and we will tear it apart and we will load this guy up. Alright guys, so here we go. So don't give me too much crap for my cable management skills. Ironically, I am an automation and electrical engineer, but I do not worry about that stuff on my own. So basically these are going to be pretty simple. So we're going to unhook the SATA and the power. Maybe it's going to be simple. There we go. And then the power and SATA again. We're going to pull these out of here. And then these just squeeze out, I hope. Maybe. There we go. So, pulled these guys out. These are the 12 terabyte. We'll set those aside. And there we go. Yeah, little elbow grease, as grandma would say. There we go, the 12 terabyte. Put that guy over there. And then back here, I just kind of threw these guys in. Yeah, I know. Again, I did this thing a while back. So there's a Samsung. That's my 500, so that is my VMs. And then this is just a cache drive I use, an old team group that I had for a while. It's the Vulcan. Still works, so why not use it, right? It's definitely a lot faster than the standard hard drives. And there we go. So that's pretty much all I'm taking out of here for now. The 128 gig RAM, the NICs and everything, 2.5 gig NIC, the 10 gig. I won't need any of that, so yeah, we'll get all this into the Terramaster. Alright, so just real quick, I already pulled one of these out and just show you how simple these HPs are to work with. They just pop in nice and simple. Love it. Makes it easy. And there we have it. The drives are out of the drive bays. I can snap those back into the case when we're done. And then let's bring the Terramaster up here. And Terramaster, we're going to go with drive 1. I've already thrown a 2 terabyte in there that I had laying around. We're going to add some extra drives to it. And another 2 terabyte. So actually I'm going to take these out for now. Just because I want to start the array the way it was originally. So these pop out of here. This pops out like this. Super simple. And then the drive just comes out. And I was just doing that to test it, see how it worked, see how easy it would be. So I already knew before I started this video. So we're going to take this guy here. And it's got an arrow on it that goes down, so we pop it back in like that, snaps the drive in, locks it into the screw holes. Terramaster makes that really simple. I do appreciate that, just like the HPs, they were really simple. And we will take this guy here and, not literally, but we will drop it in. And then I'm going to do the same thing here with this other 2 terabyte that I had laying around. Basically, I'll have a small array that is 4 terabytes. And then I'll have my larger array here that is my 24 terabytes. And then later, and I said that for a year and a half or so, later I was going to add a parity drive to it, get a 16 or an 18 gig or terabyte and throw in there, but I never did, obviously. So that'll be another upgrade here soon, now that this thing is so much easier to put discs in and out of. And we slap this guy in here like that. So that's it for now. We're going to turn this thing on its back. And we got 2 screws here we got to remove. So there's one, I'll put here in the corner. There's the other, we'll throw in the corner with the screwdriver. And slide this guy back or forward, or let's see how it goes. This I did not take apart yet. I did not cheat on this one. So let's see. I know it slides one way or the other. It's got to slide forward. Duh. Come on. Yeah. And we'll put that over the side. So here we have the 2 M2 slots. And then we have the 2 memory slots here. So like I said, I have 16 gigs. So I'm going to pull out this 8 gig DDR5. And here we have our crucial 32 gig DDR5 4800. And I only have a single chip right now, so we're going to throw this in there and see how this works with a single. It's 32 gigs, so later I can throw a second one in there for the 64. I have heard that more will work in here, but according to the website, 64 is what they recommend. All right, so now that the memory's in, the SSD's in. I did buy this originally, and it's bigger than I need. I actually found that I still had a brand new 32 gig SanDisk that will work for, can't really see it, but it's SanDisk. It'll work for the same, it'll fit in there in the side. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop out the factory OS, which is here. And I don't know if I can fit it. Yeah, I guess I can. So that is the factory OS. I will actually put this in my bin of operating systems. But for now, I'll throw it up on the shelf. And what I got to do is I got to go to the PC and I got to create my Unraid backup that we made earlier and put the boot on here. So let me get that done real quick and we'll go boot up Unraid in this thing.
The next morning.
All right, so here we are with Unraid all booted up. I've got everything set up. It's now the Terramaster F6-424 Max. Got the little picture up here. Changed it. We now have the 12th Gen i5. And it's not pulling a lot of resources here. I've got a VM running. I've got all my regular Docker containers running. Everything seems to be working. Memory's a little more utilized. I don't have 128 gig in here, but that's all right. And my NIC card's all set up. So yeah, both of them are set up. Everything's working. No problems. My array started up. I can't say no problems actually. So we did have a few problems here when we were getting this thing set up and going. First things first, it wouldn't boot at all. I had to actually go in and modify some system files. So over here in the Unraid flash drive, over here on the syslinux page, and then we go to the config file. I actually had to change this to boot Unraid OS. So just this last part right here was Unraid OS. So I had to change that. And then got it to boot up, no problem. Came up because it was just sitting there at the Terramaster before that happened. Then when it booted up, I got an error saying that I had too many licenses. So if we back out of here, as you can see on this drive, back out one more time into just the Unraid folder and then the config folder. I have a basic key, I have the plus key and the trial key still. So I actually had to go in and delete these two because I had upgraded to the plus a while back to then get it to give me a boot screen, or I mean to be able to get to where I could transfer the license from my old USB to the new one. And then once I went to the tools, I went into, tools, and I went into the registration here. Once I went in here, there's a, so yeah, it would come up here with a upgrade key, and then it would have the purchased key, and then it would say transfer key. So every time I click the transfer key, it would just give me an error. So I had to send an email out, create a ticket, and get the key transferred over manually. So then they sent me a URL file, and I was able to paste that here, install the key, and everything started working and no problem. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't perfect. It wasn't complete without a hitch, and it did take me a little digging around to find some of the information. But other than that, it worked pretty well. I mean, it's working really well, so I'm totally happy. The Terramaster F6 new ones are completely compatible with Unraid, and everything's here. It's finding everything. Yeah, I have no issues, and we're going to see how this thing does over the next couple months. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.